Hi guys, Adrian from SOS Bushcraft, out here in the bush in the evening. I thought I'd continue the basic bushcraft series, and last time we did some charcloth. Alright, so what I thought I'd do is show you the next step is how to utilize the charcloth with flint and steel, or you can even use your fire steel if you wish. I also was going to show you some feather sticking, and this is when you feather stick dry wood, it's good enough to start with your fire steel. So, but that's not the point now. What we're going to try and do is explain how to feather stick. And here I've split some wood like this, and you see it has 4 corners more or less. So when you start feather sticking, you take off the first corner, and if you lose some curls, not a big deal, just make some more. And what you do is just let the knife do its work, or do the job. And the important thing is that every time you try to draw your knife, don't try and draw a broad piece of wood like that. You can do it, but it makes it much harder. What you do is you always use a new corner that you create when you do the feather. Now I chopped that one off, but it doesn't matter. But every time I try and do a new feather or curl, as they call, Jesus, this knife was no good. And that's also important when you feather stick, is that your knife is sharp. So all the time you use the corners that you create, like so, and let the knife always do its job. And I know there's people out there that always wants to make a pretty job with their feather sticks. It's a waste of time because you're going to burn it up anyway. So for me, it doesn't matter if they're ugly or not that 100% curled, but this is nice enough and good enough for me. And what I do is that when I get to certain parts, I won't break them off and I won't get steps here, is when I get down to my feathers, my curl bundle, I just turn the knife up like that. Just turn the knife up. That way you just put them to the side, okay? So when you made a few curls like this, you just pull your knife up again. And there's a lot of, some bushcrafters, they make very nice flowers out of this and make artwork out of it. But that's a different thing. Here we're just making it to be able to start our fire. Easy enough. So it's not creating art here, we're just making feather sticks to be able to start our fire, okay? And you just make a bundle of that. And then we take a new one and we just let our knife do our work, and you use a high corner every time, like so. And there you saw I just tipped my knife up like so. And this is, now you see I'm getting big chunks here, so I'll just flip this over and take those corners. And like I said, I'm not trying to make a pretty job here. I'm just making it so it will fill its purpose. Now this is nice and dry wood, but that's what you try and do every time you try and make a fire, is get down to the core of the wood. The core is always dry, but some woods can be very hard to feather stick, but as long as you've got enough curls that will start the fire, you're good to go. And the same thing when you're going to use your fire steel, you just make the curls much finer and much nicer like that. Go light on your hands, light with your knife, and let the knife do the work. What I teach the pupils when I try to teach them bushcraft and woodsman's knowledge is you're supposed to use your knife, especially when you have a Scandi grind. Okay, it's a bit different when you've got a convex grind. But when you have a Scandi grind, think of your knife as a potato peeler. Okay, every time, if you remember how you peel potatoes, that's how you're supposed to use your knife. Just use it as a potato peeler. Think of it as a potato peeler, okay? Or an apple peeler or whatever. That wasn't very, no, but this was a thin stick, so you need some material again to work with. You don't want your sticks to be too thin. You need material to work with all the time, okay? And here are the corners that you create all the time, and that's where you do your curl, okay? And you got a new high corner there, and you make a curl there, and you got one there. Always use the high spot when you're making your curls, okay? But good to remember is that we're not making art here, we're making fire, okay? So you're just gonna burn it up anyways. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's more hard, difficult, okay? And when you made your curls or feather sticks, I've seen a lot of people make feather sticks and they put them in the fire like that. Okay, the fire bed's here. They put it in the fire like that. That's wrong, because that means this will burn up and this part here won't catch. So what you try to do when you put them in the fire is that you put them in a bundle like this, upside down, like so. Because when this is alight, the flames will rise and this is where it will catch, and that's what you want. So, there we have some feather sticks. Now we're going to talk about this bundle that I've made here. This is my bird's nest that I'm going to create with charcloth. I'm going to blow this into flame, okay? I've got different materials here. I've got some birch bark, I've got some bracken, I've got some dry grass. And this is where I put my charcloth. And then if you turn it over, I got some spruce boughs here, dry kindling from spruce, and that's what I want to do. I just turn it over like that, and what I did is I tied it up with some spruce root, okay? Well guys, I hope I'm in frame here. I forgot to charge my battery on the camera, so I had to use my mobile. Anyway, here we have some charcloth from last time, okay? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a few pieces like I talked about, because this is very brittle, and I put them together, and then I fold them to make it a bit thicker, okay? What I do is I try to find a sharp edge here, and then I got my striker and I tilt it a bit, so I want the sparks to come upwards, okay? There we have a few. Hope you can see this. I'm a bit, can't see where I am. And what I do is just put it in my tinder bundle or my bird's nest, and there's no rush here really, so, and then I just compress that a bit and start blowing, okay? Now you can see I caught a flame pretty quickly. So, and this was rather dry. So what I do then is I just turn it upside down. Okay? And now I didn't really need the feather sticks, but we got them anyway, so I just put them upside down on the fire like that. I don't want a huge flame here, really, but this is creating a huge flame. So what I do is I just press it down a bit, like so, and I lay them down instead of building them like a teepee, because that means I get the flames down a bit. So this is more like a pagoda fire. When you build it like a log cabin, you can also call it a log cabin fire. But the thing is with fire, when you're building a fire, you don't really have to bother really, because fire loves chaos. You want it like chaos, so you get a lot of air inside. So it's that simple, guys, to start a fire with primitive methods. And it's always good to practice with primitive, modern mixed together, okay? Well, that was from charcloth to fire, so I'll get back to you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.